Hey, this is Stuart, Stu Balls Gaming. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on our Mars 101 tutorial a little further to upgrade this base and make it a little bit better. While you've been away, I've finished with the refinery, the full refinery, and we are now going to progress and upgrade our base a little bit more, and then possibly work on the rover if we have time today. So, first thing we need to do is we need to defend against the meteorites. If I fly up a ways, you'll be able to see the meteorites have been coming in, and it's only a matter of time before they come in and strike something important, which could be very catastrophic. So, we are going to solve that problem today. So, if we go to the G menu, there's these things called Gatling Turns. And as you can see from what we have there, there's nothing that's absurdly hard to find. We are going to need the large variant because these will be on the actual base itself. So we're going to come back in here, and from our previous video, you remember our assembler, we were able to select things and queue up everything we need for it. So we're going to add that in there, get it going. And we're going to pull that out. Go back to the G menu, and we're going to go to the Gatling Turret and put it down in our bottom toolbar. The Gatling Turret is actually pretty large. You have to watch out that it can actually destroy your other stuff if it gets in the way. We might stick with one, maybe I'll stick the other one right here. I run the risk of it shooting stuff that it shouldn't, and that stuff's in the way. But at the same time, you really need double coverage, just because as the meteorites come in, it focuses on one, and it will shoot it, and then it will move on to the next one after that first one was destroyed, and it could totally miss. As we've seen previously, there could be multiple coming in, and the one that's going right for our base is not the one that it shoots at first. So we'll continue to come in here, grab the rest of our stuff. So, Gatling Guns actually require ammunition, so that is something that takes a little bit more effort, and I'll go through how to set these up so they actually shoot down stuff you want it to shoot down and not shoot down stuff that you don't want it to. Because you can have it shoot you, you can have it, program it to essentially do anything. So now that they're both working and functioning, we're gonna get those all. So as you can see, they're automatically moving. You can actually change that in the settings if you want to. We're gonna go over the protection tab and the consumables. So they take these, this ammunition here, which as you can see, we're gonna just do up 100. It takes magnesium powder. So if we go to our inventory and go to magnesium, you'll find that we don't have any yet. So we are going to have to go find it. So I think previously I've seen kind of a deposit over on this other side of this big crater. It's kind of a cool little crater. If I got down in it, it'd be kind of a mess to get out. So if you remember, this hand grinder has an actual probe in it to tell you, oh, so there's some magnesium up here. And we can get larger probes if we want later on. Just right now, especially where I'm needing a very limited supply, I'm not going to take the rover out. It just doesn't make sense. Sorry, I'm experimenting with a new system today with having a different microphone. If you like it, please let me know down in the comments. It's something trying new to. I received some feedback that it wasn't loud enough, and so I'm hoping that by getting a different microphone, this has solved the issue. So my energy's low. I need to get out of here fairly fast. We are drilling, but that also plays into the heat, the warmth. So we need to make sure we move along. So I'm actually gonna have a link down in the bottom to the new microphone I got. I got the Elgato Wave 3, and if you're an expert at it, you know, any information you can give me to help me, I will gladly take it. So it's saying I need about 105 units of that. That might not be enough. Yeah, I hate sitting there waiting. So I'm going to climb into my respawn pod real fast and charge up my batteries. So yeah, I'll have a link down below to this mic. So far I've been very impressed with it. I'm still trying to dial in the settings to make sure that it works for everything that I want it to, and that I get the volume and the quality that I'm looking for. Awesome. So now that should be good. I'm going to check, make sure I've got hydrogen, which I'm glad I checked, because I don't know if I would have had enough. We will put that all back in, and we should be good. If you remember previously, I turned off my hydrogen engine just to save on ice, and I'm thinking I might need to do the same again. So you can see we're kind of getting down lower. We've got, 10,000. I don't want to use it all up because then I struggle to fly. So I'm going to actually shut off this hydrogen engine. We've got that battery's pretty much fully charged. Take a look at it real fast. So it'll deplete in 5 hours is what it said right there at the end. Goes in between 11 and 5 hours. Depends on how much the refinery is running and how much our assemblers are running and stuff. So we'll make one more run real fast for this. I guess I should have dumped all the stuff that I had in my inventory. That's something to bear in mind. You always want to maximize your trip. Let's see. I know it was somewhere in this phase. I'm going to try not to pick up at all any stone. I'm not interested in carrying stone around and flying around with it. That just makes no sense. I have gravel, which definitely don't need that. Gravel is one of those things, I might have mentioned it previously. We're only going to be using gravel when it comes to reactors and that type of stuff, but it's a byproduct of you whenever you refine stone. That kind of looks like a storm out there in the distance. I'm curious if that's going to blow in. I'm amazed whenever you turn it, it seems to actually be pretty aggressive. Okay, sweet. So now we have an opportunity. We should be able to, they automatically should, I believe, fire it if they get close enough. So that's something else we can change. So as you can see, it's firing, and it blew one up, blew up the next. Ooh, that one was close to it. So you can see it hit right there, and it can shoot you as well. So you have to be very careful that it's not gonna hit anything. The second Gatling gun was not firing. So if we come in here, Gatling Turret, and it's on. So you can have it shoot constantly. You can have the aiming radius. I'm gonna have it just because we're looking for, the asteroids coming in, or the meteors. We want that to be kind of higher. So you can turn off the idle movement, and that was the idle movement that we saw earlier. I'm gonna just select both of them right now. Target meteorites, target missiles. So whenever we start flying, and if you play with other people and they can shoot missiles at you, you can actually shoot their missiles down depending on how many there are. And you can select it so it'll target small ships, so that's small block ships, large block ships, target characters, and then it can also target neutrals. So sometimes there's people or animals on the map, and that will target all of those. So the conveyor system's on. So if we come up here, we've produced some. And as you can see, both, it looks like we probably only had some in the first turn and none in the second. So they'll automatically pull as they get completed. And so if this first turret is a little closer, it might pull more often. But now both of them. But something to bear in mind as that Gatling gun was swinging across, if that meteorite would have come past, there's a possibility that it would have also taken out those solar rays. And if I was over here, there's a possibility it would have taken me out as well. Awesome. So that's like the first major thing that is a change that we want to work on. So now we got the Gatling, so we don't have to worry about meteorites. That's a large one. The next thing is we want to find a way to easily mine more of those specialty ores. So like for example, we have the magnesium over there that we wanted to mine, but it was on the side of the cliff. It wasn't very easy to get to. Our boom here only drops so far on the back. So let's see how we can improve our efficiency. We probably won't get completely to it today, but let's start with it. So we're going to improve our rover a little bit more. So we're going to go in here and we're going to go to ore detector. So we're going to add one to our build planner. We're going to also add it to our toolbox down in the bottom. And this is going to be either the small variety, and of course it's going to want our steel plate. So we're going to collect everything we need, hopefully. Looks like we've got a bit of a shortage here, so we're going to just queue up some different stuff. I also know that we need not the radio component, the detector component. We need that in order for it to function. So we're going to move that all the way up to the front. Oh, I think I might have queued up a large one, which we are not doing. It's kind of a different place for it, but that works. So I'll jump on in this, and we're going to go for a little drive. So as you remember, we need to come in here and we're going to jack up our suspension because we drop it down whenever you pull in. So we're going to back on out. And I'm going to put the parking brake. Actually, before I put the parking brake on, I'm going to come up here where we know that we have some ore, where we picked up our iron previously. Pretty sweet little rover though. So you can kind of see as I get really close to things, I can see them. So, and that is partly because if we come in here, our ore detector, it's set to 25. So we can crank that up to 50. And so now when we cruise around, we can actually see a little bit further down into the ground and kind of, so we actually have some cobalt in here, which we've already pulled from before. But there's all sorts of different things. Okay, before we go too much further, oh, there's one more thing we want to change. And it's to solve this issue right here. Ooh, up on 2 wheels. It's pretty impressive. So, we always run the risk of flipping. And something we haven't added, and somebody put in the comments down below, sometimes you don't need it for rovers, depending on how fast you're going and how fast you're going around corners and that type of thing. But we're going to just leave this parked here for a second, and I'll talk about it. So we're going to go in here, and it's our gyro. We're going to stick that in there. It says the small variety, and we're also going to select it and put it down in our toolbar. And I'll show a little bit. I'm going to add a couple because sometimes, whenever you get really heavy, you run the risk of flipping over, and this can mitigate all of that. So these are all kind of missing different things. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show you the next thing. It's kind of cool since I've got multiple in there, and if you remember in my G menu, I only have one queued up. So we're going to come in here, and if you just hover over there, there's the withdrawal 10 times to keep the block in the build planner. And so that's just the control and the mouse middle button, or the click button. I don't think it pulled. The only disadvantage to using that is if you don't have access to that particular, it will not pull it. And it doesn't give you a warning saying, hey, you forgot to grab this, or you forgot to grab that. So let's come back over here. Yeah. So we're missing some stuff. We're just going to queue up some. I know that I need some of those. Maybe not that many though. Large tubes actually take up a lot of space, and they're kind of cumbersome. And since we haven't expanded our storage crazy far, it'd be irresponsible to have that level of stuff taking up space in there. So it kind of looks like I just need large steel and computers. Let's see, since I didn't queue it up, all the ones that we had intended. So we have our large tubes that we can grab. I don't need to grab all of them, so if I right click and drag across, I can select how many I want. And I know I need computers, and luckily that's what it's working on now. So let's see where they're at. Okay, we'll fly back across, and I'll show you a little bit about these gyros. They can be extremely useful. Actually, if you ever get flipped over, you can use them to right yourself. If you have enough of them. So, if you remember the flying technique, when you press the Q and the E, it rotates the screen across. So, we're going to we'll come up here a little bit. So, we're going to kind of show what you can do. So we're going to crank the power all the way up, strength all the way up, and friction, and we're going to crank the speed limit all the way up. And now, get some tire span. We're going to go for a jump like we did earlier and kind of show what happens now. So now I'm in the air. I can press Q and E. As you can see, I'm pivoting. But now I'm going to go off this next jump, and I can move the mouse, and this is all because of our gyro. And of course it didn't land very well. We might be able to limp this back just the way it is. So let's try it. So if I was, in a different world and I was really far, I'm only 2Ks away, I could actually jump out real fast, and I could destruct this whole thing and then rebuild it. But I'm not particularly worried about it right now. We'll take it back to the base. So we're going to park this up for today. It's kind of going to be a shorter episode, but I'll get this fixed up for our next one, so that if we decide to use this, the goal is that this will become a mobile transporter for our new mining craft that we will be building. So we're going to jump dock this, and so we're, of course, we don't have 3 wheels now, not 4. I'm going to drop the offset a little bit. As you can see, I'm grinding a little bit on top of that, but we're still not low enough. But I think I'm right over the top of it. We're fairly close. So I'm going to set the parking brake. And I liked it. So we're going to press 5 and lock it in. So the goal will be that I'm going to add a flying spacecraft next that I can put on top of this. I will probably be removing the boom arm just because I'm looking for something that is capable of flying, and it's going to be not have a long range, but this will be kind of a good place to be able to move it because, as you can see, some of our resources are kind of far away that we have to get to, and it'll just make mining them a whole lot easier. But I hope you enjoyed our video today. If you did, please like and subscribe if you made it this far in the video. It means a lot to the channel, and this is how I'm going to keep on growing the channel and make more videos. It lets me know what you guys want to see and what you don't. If you have any further comments on what you would like to see in addition, please put them below so that I can address those in future videos. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for joining us on Stu Balls Gaming.